everyone, Jereshia Hawk here, your favorite millennial mentor and founder of the Goal Getter Group, where I help women who work a 9-to-5 build a business on the side. And I'm so excited because today we have a goal getter and special guest, Vanessa McCabe. She won by taking action and just responding to a prompt. She won a 3 in 30 with me. So she's gonna tell us a little bit about herself, like what she does in her side hustle as well as her 9-to-5. And then she's gonna ask 3 business questions that will hopefully help her out in whatever area she needs, but also be a benefit to all of you guys too. So let us know who you are, Vanessa.
Hello, I'm really excited to be on here, so thank you so much. I've been following all of your posts and in the Goal Getter group, and it's been quite inspiring, so thanks so much. And I have been working in the consumer products industry for 15 years. I have worn a lot of hats in my day within the sales, marketing, supply chain, multicultural marketing, you name it, I've kind of done it, and retail and everything. So that's what I do for my 9-to-5 job, and right now my side hustle is building a business with Rodan & Fields, which I'm really happy about. When I had my kids, I broke out with horrible acne, and it really kind of brought down my self-esteem, my self-confidence, and these products transformed my skin back and gave me that self-confidence and made it so much easier to, just feel alive and just feel happy and walk into a room and talk to people and just feel comfortable about that. So my goal is to help other people feel good in their own skin, as well as build a business on the side.
So fantastic. I love that. Because when you were saying the name, I'm not familiar with the product. So like what type, I'm going to ask you a question before we get started.
Okay.
Can you just educate me on what the product line is?
Yeah, so Rodan & Fields is a premium skincare product line created by the 2 dermatologists that made Proactive a lot of years ago and was really successful selling that through the infomercial line. And they created a number of lines to address the main skin concerns that most people have. And so then decided they were in really high-end stores, and then decided to kind of pull out and go the direct selling route because they wanted to make everyone have access to dermatology products and multi-med therapy. So it's been really a blessing for our family, and I'm really excited to be building this business.
That's awesome. So they're more affordable and accessible than maybe the higher end dermatology type products you have to go to somebody specific to get.
Absolutely. And the great thing is that they come with a 60-day money back guarantee, which you're not going to get from a dermatologist's office. And so you do get a chance to try the products, and they are multi-med therapy. So it really works in the combination in the order, and, consistency is key depending on your skin. So it's very important to take care of your skin. And we have products that address a lot of the major concerns, such as acne, eczema, sensitive skin, dullness and dark spots, acne scarring, and then of course your anti-aging line. So we have a lot of products that will serve everyone, men, women, preteens and teens. So
sorry, I had to learn more because I haven't heard of this product line before, so maybe somebody else might find it interesting too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you get to ask any 3 questions you want. Can you hear me okay, or sound is good?
Yeah, sound is fine.
Okay, so yeah, you can ask whatever you want, and then as individuals are watching, if you guys have follow-up questions or clarification or any thoughts, Jenna asked what product line. Jenna, I'll make sure to have Vanessa or I will post it. Can you say it one more time?
So it's Rodan & Fields, and I will post my my website on there, and you can take a personalized skin consultation, and it'll give you the best recommendation based on your skin concerns, and then we can talk about it. I'd love to help.
Okay, good stuff. So I'm glad that you just explained it. Somebody is going to find that of value and benefit. So Jenna, I'll make sure that you guys get connected, or like she said, she'll post her link in the comments so you can get it all squared away. So good. That was like really fun. So yeah, go right ahead. What questions do you have?
Well, so I'd like to understand, first and foremost, how did you decide after kind of entering the corporate world that you needed to find a side hustle and what that side hustle was going to be?
So I think it kind of starts back like in college for me. So I started building an online business when I ran out of financial aid my senior year of school, and I had to come up with $12,000 very quickly. So I started an online business. Like long story short, I made $50,000 running this business on my phone and like leveraging Instagram to like, gain momentum and gain following. And I think for me, I always struggled like in college, being the only woman of color in my classrooms. And I don't know why I thought when I got to corporate, like it was just going to be different. So I have an engineering background. I'm a pipeline engineer for utility here in Michigan. And when I got to corporate, I was just pissed. I'm like, there's nobody around that looks like me. When I look up my chain of command, I'm fortunate to work for a company where there's women who sit at the table in like those high level leadership roles, but there's no women of color. So like this passion of I want to see more women having a seat at the table, but not only having a seat at the table, being confident and having a voice, paired up with I started this business in college and everybody was asking like, how did you do this? How did you grow this while working, while in school and making it profitable? So the two, it kind of was like an organic thing that evolved. But I really like when the Goal Getter group, when I got clarity around that back in October, I really wanted to create a platform that really empowered women to walk in their truth and be able to like to give women that sense of confidence in regards to you're all like super amazing, very smart. How can we turn what we know into income? Because if we're working at a 9-to-5 job and maybe we've been leaning in that environment for so long, we're not gaining momentum. How can we go create opportunities for ourselves? So, and this is a way for me to do it. So I'd say for me, a lot of people I know or a lot of my clients started 9-to-5 because they need like their job, their fixed income is not enough to sustain a quality of life that they want. And I was never in that boat. Like I love my job. I'm very fortunate to have a job that pays really well and like, is rewarding career. I noticed a gap. I'm like, I'm terrified. What if I keep climbing through corporate and hit this roadblock because, of my differences possibly, or just because like the passion or the fuel I have dwindles and dies out. How can I go create something else again? But really, how can I be a part of this like mission I have of empowering more women to have a seat at the table, but also to create their own opportunities, whether that be through like having more freedom and flexibility with time or actually generating more income. So it was like this, I don't know, like natural organic thing that evolved for me. And I don't think that's definitely not most of my clients' story. Most of my clients are like I need to make more money because my 9-to-5 job just isn't delivering. And I know that my 9-to-5 job isn't like fully leveraging all of my gifts. So how can I go express that in another way? And great add-on that I can actually make money off of doing it. So it was really me just trying to solve that need. And then I think also when I started my business back in college, like I felt so isolated. Like none of my girlfriends in college could understand the entrepreneurial struggles, like, nor could they understand why I wasn't going out and getting drunk every Thursday night with them because I was at home, like building a business. So it felt super lonely. And I'm like, there has to be other women out there who are like me. Like I can't be the only weirdo out here just trying to grow a business out of nothing. So like all of those things kind of morphed together, and that's kind of how like this kind of organically grew. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you subscribe. You're not weird at all. Absolutely not.
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying in terms of college. I mean, I think that in college, there's a lot of people that just go and they're partying. They just are, out for a good time, which is fine. But it's definitely, I was almost always relating to older people. My friends ended up actually being more out of college, with a couple in college, but most of them were just as driven as I was. You know, my best friend's a woman engineer, so you know, I say to the world basically that I was an engineer for one semester so I could meet her. So,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That was a really good question, though. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into this and why I started this whole side hustle thing. And I think also, like, as I've been reading more data and learning more about like, just the millennial mindset and just how the workforce is adjusting and shifting, people really view entrepreneurship as not just somebody who goes out and starts a job, but they view it as like a mindset. And a lot of corporations aren't really catering to this entrepreneurial mindset that a lot of us are starting to, I think, just more of like a generational thing we're starting to adapt into. We want freedom and flexibility. We want to be able to be innovative and like come up with creative solutions that may not be the normal way of how we used to do things in corporate. But like, how do I package that and be able to like fully express myself without feeling confined because this is just how we've always done it. So that's definitely part of it too. But so yeah, I can keep rambling, but that's the answer.
No, that's a good one. Well, let's take that a step further. So how have you found your tribe? You know, how do you build these relationships outside of work? Or are a lot of your clients from work that are kind of dealing with this struggle of wanting to expand their experiences and address kind of these needs that maybe their 9-to-5 has not been reaching?
I've been really leveraging my social media. So I have acquired some like really key relationships from my job, but the vast majority of my audience is just for me organically growing it through Facebook. And I think the differentiator for me and a lot of other online entrepreneurs is I like to automate as much as I can in my business, but I do not like to automate relationships. And I like love having those like high level touch points with people. It's a strategy I used in corporate. Like my first 2 years in corporate, I made a point that every day I would never eat alone. I would always eat with somebody new. I don't care if they were the CEO or like, you know, they were the contractor, like union employee. Like everybody's got to eat at one point in the day. So I identified individuals in the company who I just thought were interesting, like their job experience was interesting, or like their background was interesting. Or like I aspired to have a level of like responsibility that they had. And I literally just started asking people like, I want to hear more about your story. Will you go to lunch with me? And I got yeses from every single person, regardless if it was a peer of mine or it was the CEO of my company. And I started like taking that same strategy and applying it to business. Like I think a lot of us, as we're developing online businesses, we forget that we're interacting with like real humans on the other end. We focus on like, well, what are my followers? Like, how many opt-ins am I getting? Like, how many people are on my email list? You know, instead of like, those are real hearts. Like, those are real humans. Like, develop real relationship. So I've been taking it more because I have like if you look at my numbers, like I don't even have 1,000 likes on my Facebook page. I don't have 1,000 email subscribers, but I've been able to grow a really profitable business off of a small, like highly engaged tribe. But I think the biggest thing that's been drawing people to me is I try to be very transparent about my journey. So I try to share like the highlights and my success moments. And then I try to share like, you know, I'm having a major struggle moment. I have not cleaned my apartment in the past week. And like, I literally have like dirty pants sitting next to me because I don't have it all together. But like, it's relatable and it's like, it's true. Like it's not just this like facade that I try to put on. So I've been just by opening up and being more vulnerable to share both my wins and like my struggles, that's really drawn a lot of people to me. And then I also think just showing up consistently, like Facebook Live videos have been my bread and butter. I try to go live at least once a week. And then again, just me sharing my story or sharing my experience or whatever. That's been naturally like drawing people to me. And that, you know, they know that I'm going live. It lets them like interact and see me. So those are like some like tactical things I've been doing, but I really try to like make the time to like do things like this where it's not like you paying me to be here or scheduling coffee chats. So like on Fridays, I have 2 hours blocked off on my calendar, either for like discovery calls for new clients or like just to meet somebody new in my audience. Before doing these videos, I would identify like 5 people in my free Facebook group who were like super engaged every month and send them a DM saying like, hey, I've noticed you being like super engaged. I really appreciate you like showing up in my community and adding value. I would love to just get on the phone and chat with you. And just those little touch points have really like just organically built up. And I think even though that's why I have a smaller audience, why I've been able to have a more engaged one that's actually like super profitable, just because I'm like remembering that they're humans and like developing real relationships. But it's kind of getting to the point now, like I kind of mixed you up with another Vanessa, and like she's an artist and you are definitely not, but just the two names. I apologize all the time because that's starting to happen a little bit more. And it's like, I stalk all of you guys. So sometimes I just get it a little mixed up, but I really just try to engage. So like, you know, like Tiara here is a client of mine who's on the comments now. One, thanks for watching, but she's been following me for like 9 months and I've been stalking her for like 6 before she ever even became a client. So I'd engage with her on social media and she would do the same. And that's kind of organically grown too to actually turn into a paid client. So I feel like I gave like a roundabout answer, but that's really how I've been developing my tribe, is just how can I give value while being transparent and sharing like more of my story on how I've got to become where I'm at. But really just developing authentic relationships. So I'd say one other tactical thing that I did or that I do is in my welcome email sequence. So when somebody first signs up to be on my email, the very first email they get is like, hey, you know, thanks for joining, you know, get me out of your spam folder. Here's what you can expect from me. But then I say, like, I want you to hit reply and tell me like who you are, like what type of business are you trying to build? What are your biggest struggles right now? Like I want to hear from you. And that's been like game changer for my business. When I wrote that in the very first email that somebody gets from me, ask them to reply, because that allows me to have that conversation. And they always get shocked, like, is this a real person or just automated? I'm like, no, this is really Jereshia Hawk. Like, I really wanted to hear from you. And that little touch has been huge for me. So I think that's how I've been able to attract my tribe. Because I just now started using like boosting my Facebook videos probably in the last month. But really just by sharing my story and just being authentic, like that's really been the biggest thing for me.
You know, that's really key. I think that being authentic and just yourself and showing kind of that personality does make a big difference. There's so much noise out in Facebook. And so having that real person connection and really making that relationship and adding value without expecting, you know, always turning into a client. I mean, that's huge. The free help that you give kind of opens that door to say, okay, yes, this person and I can have a connection. You know, this person really can help me and is relevant to where I'm going. So that's excellent.
I completely agree. I think it's my mentors taught me this early on in my career, just what type of leader do you want to be and how do you want to show up? And he had me do all this research to figure out what type of like leadership philosophy I really wanted to adapt for myself. And servant leadership was one that really identified with me, because it's not so much about, okay, what does Jereshia Hawk need or what do I want, but it's really how can I be continuously giving and adding value and serving my people. And I've applied that same thing here. So like in everything that I do, I really just, because if you're serving in your God-given gift and doing what you're supposed to be doing, the money is just like a natural byproduct of you giving amazing value. The money will just naturally come. If you're solving people's problems and like just serving the best that you can with what you have, like the money just comes. So I don't even focus. I mean, I track my goals and track it, but like I really focus on just how can I keep adding value to my community and do the best with what I have right now to like help solve their problem or just help them move the needle like one step forward. So yeah.
Excellent. So here's my last question. So you talked about mentors. Tell me why you feel that having mentors is important, and then having coaches is also important, and define the difference between the two.
So I think they're game changer. Like, if it weren't, I call my mentors my board of directors, and if it were not for them, like Jereshia would not be who she is. So I think it's like critically important for us because none of us can like really grow by ourselves. Like I think nobody who was maybe like Oprah's like my hero. Michelle Obama, like nobody achieved the level of success they have by themselves. They've always had help from somebody. And I think for me, I grew up without my parents. My mom left when I was 2. I left my dad in middle school. My grandmother not raised me from there. And I moved out and have been like independent on my own since I was 17. So I never, I grew up without the typical mom and dad, like your first mentors in life. And before I always looked at it as a really big disadvantage. I would get super envious of my friends who had amazing parents, but I realized that the benefit of me not having parents, I get to kind of craft and design them as I want based off of who my mentors are, because they now serve as that parent role for me. But I didn't really start building my mentors until I got into corporate. So I think it's very important for all of us here, one, treat yourself like a business and start developing your own board of directors who are individuals that you identify as thought leaders, as influencers, as people who just have their stuff together and I just want to learn from them. How can you start developing relationships with them so they can be individuals to reach out to in those times of working through work situations, working through politics. I go to them for dating and love advice. They've helped me get my whole life together. So I think a mentor is, I like to look at it in this 33% rule. Analyze your circle. So 33% of your circle should be people who are 3 to 10 steps above where you are right now. 33% of your circle should be peers. So maybe they're 1 step above or 1 step below. And then 33% of your circle should be people that you can be a mentor for. So not that they're beneath you, but maybe they're trying to achieve what level of success you have and you can serve them. So that's something I like to do for my mentor bubble. And I just think it's critically important to have that. So develop your own personal board of directors of just people you trust, that you can confide in, that give you awesome and amazing advice. Because it's always a two-way learning street, but I think that's really important. And then coach, I didn't get my first coach until I started my business. So the reason why I hired a coach is because I wanted to fast track my success. And not saying fast track in the sense that you don't put in the work. I definitely hustled my butt off. But I realized that, going online and investing in all those free, reading all the free blog posts and listening to all the free podcasts, I only was going to be able to get so far. And realize at the time I was spending trying to piece together all these free resources to figure out what my solution was, I spent hours a week trying to find the solution to one thing and still maybe not even find it. It was I don't want to keep going down this path. I'd rather hire somebody who has the results that I'm looking to achieve in my business and pay them to save myself the hours of time. Also for the convenience, so they can give me the blueprint. Because if you give me the blueprint, I can execute and take off.
Right.
So that's when I hired a coach. I knew what specific results I wanted to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months. I really found somebody that one, had the receipts, so I know that they have a proven track record for the results that I'm trying to achieve, and 2, I resonated with their personality. And I realized that in order for us to grow anything, either you're going to be investing time or you're going to be investing money. And I'd rather invest. And again, it's an investment. It's not holy crap, this person wants me to pay them whatever. It's an investment in your future. And start thinking about don't focus so much on what the cost is right now, but what is the return on your investment going to be? And how much money are you losing out right now on your business by not having these answers? And the money you're going to be losing until you figure it out. So that's when I hired a coach. And that's been a game changer for me. So I had a 3-month coach from October to December, took a month off. And like just got back re-enrolled with 2 coaches right now, like this month. So I think for me, I love having that, like women who are, in business, I've been in business for like a year with this, not even fully with the Goal Getter group, but these women have been in business 6 to 10 years and have amazing results. And it's like, I want to learn from the best and like look at this, even though I may not be ready to fully like implement or leverage everything that they're teaching right now in my business right now, but this is my season of preparation. So it's getting my mindset ready for the next level of growth. It's teaching me the strategy for that next level of growth. So that's kind of, I think, my distinction, I guess, between the two, but I think they're both like, I wouldn't be me if it weren't for both of those like slew of people that I have in my world.
That's excellent. It's good that you acknowledge that you need help. I think a lot of entrepreneurs start their journey kind of saying, "Oh no, I can do this all by myself," or it's the entrepreneur. That means it's just me, and that is kind of a wrong street to go down. You really do need support on a lot of fronts. Not just your family and your friends, but also, like you mentioned, mentors that are different levels. That push you and challenge you, not always telling you it's going to be all, lollipops and roses, but the truth of what's really going to happen. But then you need to, what people have been saying, or kind of the lingo is level up. So, you get to a coach that kind of gets you to one level, and then you might need another coach to get you to a different level. And you have 2 coaches that might be working on very different things for you. One might we're working on systems for you, while the other one is working on mindset. Who knows? But it's really having the wherewithal to decide what is it that I need to get me to that next level.
Absolutely. I think it's just huge. And I think another thing is getting mentors and coaches. Well, I think mentors specifically that are really different from you. When he laughs when I say this. He's my John. He was my first white male mentor. And that was like huge for me. Cause I'm like, he's, like in his 50s and like the complete opposite, the complete opposite of who I am. But that man has been the most impactful and instrumental person in my personal development that I've ever experienced in my life. So don't shy away from people who are different. And I think it's important to have people from different industries who look different from you in different levels of leadership or levels of like what you define success as, because they offer really amazing perspectives when you're going through challenges. And like, seriously, like when I'm having like a dating issue or like a work issue, I call like 3 or 4 of them and share the story. Okay, guys, this is my situation. These are my resources. This is what I'm thinking. And I collect all of their perspectives and like come up with a solution based off of it. But they offer all such unique, diverse like thoughts on how I can solve the problem. And I think when it comes to like hiring a business coach, I notice that a lot of people get tripped up because they don't really know what they need yet. And they're trying to hire somebody to get a result, but they don't even really know what their goal or result really is. So I think that's an important thing too, as you're evaluating coaches, like get crystal clear on where are you now? Where are you trying to be? And like get clear on the results that you're actually trying to achieve, and then finding somebody who can like really help you solve that issue. So I think that's important. I'm like, have you ever worked with a coach or like have mentors in your world?
I've had mentors since since college. I've had several different types of mentors. I have not worked with a business coach yet. I'm kind of in that stage where you were mentioning, or trying to figure out which one, what direction I need to go in, and kind of figure out that right connection between where I need to go. But mentors has been a very important part of my growth in the 9 to 5. I mean, I was put in a very analytical role straight out of college, and it was very male dominated. Even being in this, sales, which typically you think female, but they were putting me in a category management role, which is pretty analytical. So when I got in there, most of my mentors were men. And that was interesting for me. And they were much older than me. So again, that was, as you were mentioning, you find a lot of insights from their experiences, and, don't resist it just because they're not the same as you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I also learned in that case that you can add value even though you might be younger. I mean, for me, I'm, at that point in time, I was right out of college, but I also was Latina, and then I'm, bilingual. So then they have all of those things that they came back to ask me about. Oh, how would you do this differently if you were targeting the Hispanic market? Or how would you do differently if you're targeting, someone that just came out of college? So I felt at some point I was also adding value to them, which is important, not to discount yourself just because you are young or don't have, 50 years of experience. And as I've been building, I've really learned that building cross-functionally relationships is really important. So when I was in category management, then in sales, I still had connections in supply chain, which I had, in that time, nothing to do with supply chain. But it ended up later on when I was managing a business that I not only did the sales, I also did forecasting, I also did financials, I also did supply chain. And so for me to understand what's happening in the supply chain world, in order for me to better communicate and work with my supply chain team, I developed that relationship several years beforehand. The understanding that I needed to have. So all of that is really important and has helped me develop as just as a businesswoman, but also helped me help other people, right? Because some people would come to me and say, what's this? And I said, I know a great person to ask that question to, and can send them to one of my mentors because I knew that they would have the answer. And most of the time I'd go with, so I would also know the answer, but
I love the point that you made that, like, maybe you may not have been working that industry then or working in that department then, but it served you in the long haul. And I think there's just so many parallels from like being great in corporate, but also creating a great business, because it's about the long race. It's about the marathon. It's not the sprint. And you never know what relationships you're developing right now that might turn into like potential clients a year from now. And just what that like customer cycle can even like look like. Or Jordan Gill, she's also in the comments right now. She's like one of my online business besties. She's awesome. But we were talking about nobody communicates about what the sales cycle is for like when somebody discovers you and when they actually decide to buy. So I just like the point that you just made, because you may not get like tangible like financial benefits right now from developing a relationship, but you never know what that can turn into, 6 months, 9 months, a year from now for you, because you had that relationship. I just thought that was a really like key point, both within your 9 to 5, as well as like applying that same logic to building a business. But I want to know more about like what your goals are, if you have time to chat about them. Like, I'm interested to know, like, where do you want your business to grow into in the next like 3-6 months?
That's a really great question. On the Rodan and Field side, I really am just passionate about these products. They work so well for me. And so it's really educating consumers. I think a lot of times people think of skincare as an extra, and it should be more considered like you're brushing your teeth. So it's preventative as well as curative. So, you have an issue, you can address it, but also just taking care of your skin. And it's interesting when you talk to people about how, they don't wash their face, or they go to sleep with their makeup on, and all those things that you're doing are going to have an effect on your skin in the long term. So for me, it's really trying to educate people on taking care of themselves. Self-care is really important, and that includes skincare, of course, but also healthy eating and exercising. It's just really kind of a holistic, because if you don't take care of yourself, it's really hard for you to serve others.
Absolutely.
When we talk about, on the airplane, put your mask on first. If you don't do that, you're going to pass out, and then the person that you wanted to help is now going to pass out. So instead, you got to take care of yourself first. You have to have a full bucket in order to replenish everyone else's bucket. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So part of me is really just trying to educate people and help them with their skin concerns, and then really build the life that they want. I think that a lot of times we've been, kind of groomed to think that 9 to 5 is the only way to do things, and that you have to sacrifice, time with your family, time with your kids, or just time in general, kind of one for one. And with the internet and just kind of what, how that has opened, kind of the market. Now you can reach a lot more people than you could in a long time ago. I really want to help other entrepreneurs build a business where they have a lot more of a financial freedom, and to make the decisions that are the best for their family, whether it's to stay at home or it's to save some money for a trip because they don't have that, or plan B, because one day your company has a restructure. I mean, in one of my companies, I'll say we went through 2 restructures in the time that I was there, and it was a long time, but 2 restructures that let go a lot of people, and some were absolutely unexpected and some were expected. So part of it is unpredictable, because it really depends on the company, and do you want someone else to have all the control over your future?
So you want to grow both the skincare line as well as like your own like business consulting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I think that's awesome. So I'm not sure, do you have any other questions that you want to ask?
Well, if you were to be talking to someone that's just hitting the ground and starting their business, what would you say are the top 3 things that they need to have on their to-do list, or kind of the way to start your business? These are the 3 things you need to really think about.
I think first and foremost is like your content, and how are you positioning yourself as a leader or a thought leader in this. So I see a lot of individuals who they want to start a business, and the first thing they jump to, okay, I want to go get a photo shoot, I want to get a super cute website, and I want to get a super cute logo. Which your branding is important, but like that's just the icing on the cake. You need to actually bake and like develop a solid foundation, or else you're going to just have this, like really tasty, pretty icing, but there's no cake there at all. So I think it's important for people to really start putting out content and creating a pool of content that even before they have an audience, even before they like build an email list or even have a website necessarily, how are you just adding value and like showing up in the space where people are starting to see you as like, oh, she's a leader in this, or she knows what she's talking about. She's helping me solve some problems that I have by the free content that she's putting out. So I think that's really important, is to think through that piece. 2 is to get like super laser focused on who you're actually serving. The biggest issue I had when I started my business, and the biggest issue like a lot of my clients have when they get started, is they try to be like the Wi-Fi Walmarts. They try to serve everybody and their mama under the sun. I started like, I want to empower women to live more intentional lives. And it's like, what the heck does that really mean though? Like there's no empowering a woman. A woman can go buy a new dress and feel like empowered. She can buy a new pair of shoes and feel empowered. Like really, what type of, who am I really serving, and what result or evolution am I creating by them working with me? And like spending time to do your research and like understand who that person is. I just know that's something that took me like 6 or 7 months to nail down, because I was trying to rush that process. I'm just like, well, I want to service everybody. Like I want to help all women. So I think all of us are like super passionate. Like we want to add value, and we want to change lives for as many people as we can, which is like, don't lose that spirit. But when you're just getting started, like nobody knows who you are. So if you're trying to like teach branding and marketing and sales and how to create a website and like how to sell skincare products, you're trying to sell everything. Like, I don't even know who you are, and I really can't identify with you, because like I don't really know. Your services change every day, like your offerings change every day. Like and me as a consumer, I don't want to have to think that much, and most of the time we don't even know what we want. So it's like I immediately just opt out. So I think spend the time really understanding who you're trying to serve and what transformation you're going to provide for them. And I think like a tangible way to do this is like when you're just getting started, you can't focus. I mean, one, it is important to identify what your passions are, but that's really about you. You really need to start shifting your mindset on like, how can you solve somebody else's problem based off of what you know? How can you give somebody else results? And then, like, I like to give my ideal client a name. My ideal client is actually one of my clients right now. She's like, if I could just replicate her over, that'd be like the perfect business for me. So every time I think of anything, I think of Tierra. You know, and I mean, like, do your research. Like, she's a mom. She lives in Michigan, Eastern time zone. I know how she makes money. I know, like, who pays her bills. Does she pay for them? Does she have somebody else assisting? How does she show up online? Like, why does she go on social media? What types of things does she post? What does she care about? She posts a lot of things about like women's empowerment initiatives, like gender equality, current events, like unique social media, like current event type things. You know, she shows up online at like between 6 and 8 a.m. and then again at like 7 p.m. and then she watches my lives during lunch. Like, I know her, like I understand her daily habit. I know like what her Monday routine looks like. Like really dig deep into who you're trying to serve, and like it's okay if it takes you time to get there, but like don't skip over that process. Because that makes selling and marketing like 10 times easier when the time comes for you to do that. So that was like a long explanation, but I wanted to provide like some tangible like tactics there. So like I interviewed her, and I interview people. So I ask these questions to individuals so I can really learn who they are. Every time I'm developing a new product or service, like I think about it like I'm talking to Tierra. Like if I were selling this to her, like what would I be texting her to say to tell her about this new product to solve her problem? And that just makes it a lot easier. So I think, like I said, one, creating content and just like just starting to put out your thoughts and sharing your opinions, establishing yourself as a thought leader in whatever your industry is. Two, really like honing in on who your ideal client is, and who you're actually trying, like what the evolution is going to be and what that transformation is. And then I think third is like surround yourself in community. When I first got started, like I said, it was really hard because I felt so alone. By you either joining or being engaged in a Facebook group or like paying for a monthly membership group or like joining an entrepreneurship community, I think that's the thing that's allowed me to like get success in my business quicker than I feel like I would have otherwise, is having that support. Because like when I get stuck or like feel like screw this, I do not know why I'm building this business, I want to quit. Guys, I hit this struggle, I don't know how to overcome it. Like I need help. I just need somebody to talk this through. If it wasn't for my community like that, I wouldn't be here now. So I think that those are like if you were just getting started, those are the three things I would say is start creating content and showing up online, develop a presence, really figure out who you're trying to serve and what transformation you're providing for them, and then like find a community of people that you can like just talk with, share ideas with, learn from. Like they can encourage you, you can encourage them. Cause it makes the journey a lot more fun, but like it just, I don't know, that was like help me keep my sanity through it all too.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it stems back from you know, when we were talking about how you're doing a business by yourself, but you shouldn't be doing it by yourself. You should find your tribe, and you know, sometimes you need them to talk you off the ledge, which
yes,
you know, and sometimes you need them to push you off the ledge and you know, help you fly. So I mean, you need that
absolutely
either way.
So are you like stuck somewhere right now in your business that you like, I've been here and I'm really trying to get to the next level and I can't?
I mean, I think the struggle for me is developing my own brand. You know, I've got, in terms of the Rodan and Fields is an awesome brand and the products work, and I'm, you know, a testament personally to it, as well as the
amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's you know, as well as the other clients I serve. So in that sense, that, you know, is great. It's just trying to build kind of the bigger umbrella of myself and bringing that within it. So that's where my struggle is right now, just trying to figure out who I want to serve, and how I want to serve them. So
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think it's exciting and challenging because like us being the business owners, we get to decide.
right.
Like there is no right or wrong. Like you get to pick. So I think like for you specifically, like what are you really good at getting results at? Like maybe because is this like a multi-level marketing type of structure for the skincare?
Yeah, the skincare is a network marketing company.
Okay. So maybe you're like coaching or teaching women. Well, are you allowed? Let me know if you're allowed to do this within network marketing. But are you allowed to coach people on how to become really good network marketers?
Yes, yes. I mean, the idea would be, for me to teach other women to own a business like Rodan and Fields, or own other businesses if that's kind of the route that they want to go to.
Do you want to be teaching women how to build services or teaching women how to sell products and like physical products or digital products?
It's interesting. I just want to help women kind of get that self-confidence and learn how to communicate and present themselves to where they can get the read they need to build their business. And that could be service or product. I've worked on both realms because I've sold to, high, lots of big retailers, Target, Walmarts, and other big accounts like that. But I've also, worked on the marketing side of things, and you're selling more of a service on that side, or the multicultural marketing, like when you're creating different programs and things. So I have experience on both realms. It's really just figuring out how to how to bring it together, and who the right.
So it sounds like you'd be really, really good at just teaching women how to sell themselves. Or like if they do sell services, like if I were to hire you, you teach me like, Jay, how do you position yourself? How do you market yourself so you can attract new clients and so you can like sell your services? Or when you get somebody on the phone, or when you in that meeting with Target, like how to actually make the pitch and make the sell and make them say yes.
Yes.
Just based off a little bit of what you just said. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm like, might be really good at, just teaching people how to sell. Like one, discover what they're great at and what value they provide and what transformation that they give. And how to clearly communicate that so they can sell themselves confidently and get somebody else to say yes back to them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there just based on
I think you're right. I mean, I think that's a good I think it's a good assessment. I'll kind of have to think about that a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I can like tag you into other women who are really good at like teaching people how to sell and teaching people how to market themselves, because that might be something that maybe you didn't think about, but just based off of what you're saying on what you've done and what your experience is. And then we can always chat too offline, because I can ask you a million questions on here and be on here for another hour. But I think that would be, I know it's something that a lot of women struggle with. It's like I can get somebody on a discovery call, but I can never close them. Or I can like get the meeting or get the interview, but I can never close because I don't know how to sell myself or really present myself or market myself in a way where like, I can get the yes. So maybe that's your like zone of, well, it's not that you have the experience, but maybe that's something to flirt with or to explore to see if that's like the real transformation you can help and provide for somebody.
That's a really good assessment. We might have to talk a little bit more offline.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there from the little bit, but I know there's a need for that. A lot of women have challenges with that. Like, how do I sell myself? So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think a lot of it is just the idea of talking about your accomplishments. It's very hard for women versus for men is super easy. They just, it kind of comes really naturally for them about what they've done, versus women are more like, we did this as a team. And
yeah.
effort, which is great. I'm not saying to discount the team effort, but in general, you also have to talk about your contribution to that. So what did you specifically do? And I think women in particular, have a hard time pinpointing that because they feel like they're bragging, but they need to understand and change their mindset that it's really not bragging. It's just valuing your contribution to your job or your business, whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. And also I'm thinking like if you sold to Targets and like these major corporations, maybe you'd be the individual that people who have physical products, how to actually prepare them to get them in Target or in a big retailer, and how do they pitch larger companies to get their products in the store. That could be like another, maybe something else you could teach people how to do too.
Yeah.
Like, because I know a lot of people who have amazing products, they have no idea to even where to start. I'm like, how do I get in Target?
It is quite a process, I'll say that.
I bet. Target's the gold mine, but you know, how do you teach product-based businesses to get like wholesale accounts, or how to get into like these more brick and mortar, like bigger stores? And you know, since we've done it, maybe you're the one that can coach people on how to do that.
Yeah, that's another avenue. See, but then now you're giving me a lot of different avenues to go. You have to be specific with your target audience when you.
You do. Well, since you don't know what your target audience is yet, I'm just throwing out ideas of make
you're like,
with them all.
Yeah, well, I'll have to explore that. This is good. I think this is part of that process, right? Where you've been in your head so long that you need somebody to kind of, look at it in a different perspective and maybe.
Yeah.
Give you some new ideas.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I think so, yeah. So I just, again, I really appreciate you being like an active participant in my community, and really just adding value to not, just yourself, but also being able to assist and inspire and encourage others also in the community. Like, you guys just bring my little baby mission to life, and it's the most beautiful thing. So I really value your time and your attention, that you can like pay attention and show up in our group. And really excited that we were able to figure something out, to actually go on live and answer your questions and help you work through some things as well. And guys who are watching this, she was so thoughtful. She's like, I want to make sure I'm asking questions that aren't just for me, but that add value for everybody else. And I just think that that's like a beautiful spirit. So I just notice that, recognize it, and just really appreciate you. But one more time, I know you'll put it in the comments. Let people know about the skincare lines. I know a few people were asking about it, and just where we can like learn more and find you at on social media, or like what's your website or anything like that.
So my website for Rodan and Fields is vmccabe.myrandf.com, and I'll put it in the comments just so that you can just click the link, and that'll give you kind of a big overview of all of our great products, the skincare line, our lash boost, which is really fantastic. It grows your lashes naturally. It's cool. And along, a lot of different things. And then on Facebook, you can find me at Vanessa McCabe. When you've seen my face, you kind of know which one. And I live in Lake Bluff, Illinois, to kind of narrow it down. On Instagram, I'm Vanessa McCabe 1980. If you want to find me on that as well.
Well, thank you so much. This will be definitely like in the Facebook group and everywhere on social media. So if you need to watch the replay, or if you are watching the replay, just thank you guys for showing up. If you have questions, comments, or thoughts, don't hesitate. Leave that in the comment section below. And Vanessa and I will make sure to engage and respond to what you guys are saying there. And just again, Vanessa, like, thank you so much for your time and like for adding value to my community. I just really appreciate you. So
really
thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and also thanks for putting the group together. It's been really great to see all these people kind of helping each other, and the interaction is really nice.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. If you are interested in like doing a free accountability group, you can also just click the link in the title of this Facebook Live. It's free to join. And to engage with other like females who are really trying to move the needle in their life. So we invite you to join us as well. But you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.